Good afternoon, folks. Been to work today. Had a nice early finish. Well, early-ish, 2 o'clock. We got just 4 o'clock now. Came back, had a bit of lunch. Bit of a chill time. But we got perfect conditions today. I mean, perfectly-ish. We got about 18 degrees outside. Sunny. So all the metal is actually not cold, not moist. So it's very good conditions to put our sound deadening on. Ideally, the manufacturers for all the sound deadening applications recommend about 20 degrees Celsius. So just to compensate that, we're not going to be using a heat gun, because the only one I've got is, well, obviously not battery powered. I'm not even sure they do battery powered ones. But I would have to run my electrics all the way from that door through the car park and move every time for anyone going in and out of the car park. Obviously 220 lead on the floor is a bit of a hazard, so I decided not to use it today because the conditions are quite good. And as well, that's the stuff we're going to be using there. Let me just walk you quickly through pretty much ghetto fix setup. So we're using a hot water bottle, which we're just going to put it on sound deadening, so it just warms it up a tiny little bit so it activates the glue. Cutting it in strips with scissors because I can't find my Stanley knife, and I'm not going to buy one today because I know I have one, just can't bloody find it. And instead of a roller that everyone buys and uses, I'm just going to use a jar to roll out the pads. Yeah, nothing fancy. What we got here? Sushi ginger rice. Yeah, good days. Love sushi, man. But that's the idea. We got all the walls to cover. I pretty much know where my window's gonna go, so we need to do ceiling, walls. We're gonna skip the doors today because I definitely don't have a time for that. So I've got around, I would say, 2.5 hours to do it. So the side door and the rear door will be skipped. The rear corner there will be skipped. So we're just concentrating on the ceiling. That water there, top panels a little bit, bottom panels as much as we can. For this side we are doing rear quarter, middle one, skipping the front because I'm planning on putting a window in there. Obviously all the strip away on the top and the whole strip at the bottom. So yeah, that's the idea. I've got what do I have? About 8 square meters of the sound deadening boards, basically 4 packs of 4 sound deadening blocks, which are 500mm by 500mm. I got them from my local paint shop, so always worth asking, you know. I only know that because my friend recommended it, and I used it for my previous van and it done the job great. As well, comparing the square meterage cover of it, it comes about half price of what is the stuff on Amazon that everyone keeps using on their vans. So I would say, yeah, that's a bit of a bargain, but again, being a bit of a bargain, 8 square meters set me off just about £100. Yeah, that's the plan. So gonna put you on the tripod there and just get some footage of me doing it. Perfect place to store coffee. I don't know whose YouTube video I've seen on it, but someone keeps storing Lucozade bottles, and I thought that's a nice coffee holder at the back. So let's have a quick sip of that coffee and crack on. As you can see, it comes in these big strips. Peel that off, exposes the glue. All you need to do, put it on a sheet of metal on the side of your van. Obviously the one on Amazon and everywhere else that everyone's using has a silver foil sort of finish to it, but again, There's no need for that because this is only to do the function of sound deadening, and we're going to be applying insulation, then reflectics, then a vapor barrier. So yeah, there's definitely no need for that. And these work great. I'm going to measure one sheet to the ceiling first. That's where we're going to start off. I think I'm going to be applying 2 strips per one section of the ceiling. And let's see how far we can get out of this pack. Hopefully can cover the lot with 4 packs, but if need be, I'll need to go get more. So I've measured a little bit, and the decision at the moment is I'm gonna cover 3 of the sort of side panel quarters things where you would put a window otherwise, because 3 of them will take 3 of these sheets. So I'm gonna try to cut them in sort of equal strips, apply as most as I can. Actually, 1, 2, 3. That door probably gonna take another one, but I'm not ready to do that door because that will need to be screws out, panel out, get all the old mastic off, treat any open metal surface, hammerite it. If there's any rust, obviously get rid of that. So actually no, wait, side door is getting a window, so yeah, at least that's the plan. So I only need to cover 3 of them, so I would like the biggest application of that on the windows, because again I don't really want to use more than 4 packs, not just because of the price, but mainly is the weight. 4 of those panels, they are bloody heavy. 4 of them, actually don't have the weight, I did not weigh it, but that's the idea. So let's see how can I sort of divide it equally, or as equally as I can. So we go 500 ml, some messages. Right, let's jump into calculator. 50 divided by 3, we're looking at about 16 centimeters, 160 mil, which would be pretty much around here. Another 16 on top is 32. That leaves a little bit of a bigger one. Actually, let's go 16 and a half. Again, I'm gonna rough cut them. It's not gonna be straight lines or anything. I'm just gonna double check that they will fit between the structural beams on the panels. So 16.6 would go to 33.2, somewhere here. So yeah, now let's measure the distances of these. So the middle ones, they are actually bloody 300 mil. The side ones, well, the back one is shortest distance between those is 200 mil. So we are within parameters quite easily. So let's see, can we cut it with scissors? Yes, lovely. Another thing I'm thinking about is, obviously, not the straightest cut in the world, but that'll do. Again, don't have to be straight or anything. I'm actually thinking cutting these in half and applying smaller pads instead of covering the whole area of it. I'm gonna have a look in a second once I've got one of these pads ready. So, because at the end of the day, you don't have to cover the whole sheet of metal to sound deaden it. Because purely we're going against vibrations on driving, rain noise and similar. And if you look how much the manufacturers apply to cars, for example, the side door of any car under the door card will have probably 1/3 of this on it. Some are a little bit more generous and they'll apply about half of it, and we're covering the whole panel basically with that. So I think it's a little bit too much. Let me have a quick look. If I slot it against the panel, 3 per panel is a bit too much. Again, yeah, on the side the only noise we'll be hearing is the road vibrations. That's what we want to be minimizing. So we're gonna have insulation on top of that, so I would say cut them in half and try to apply them to center so they balance out. 3 per, yeah, definitely more than enough. We're looking at about 25 mil, 250 mil, sorry. So what we will be doing is cutting this one, using the water bottle, put it on top, just, you know, general warming up. Again, you don't have to be ideal, but just for the sake of the argument, let's try to keep it to around half. Ready for the next one, and pretty much around there. So I said, these things ain't gonna be beautiful. Not trying to be beautiful, trying to do the job. So pull this to the side, get another 2 pads line. I definitely did not cut straight, like I said. It's not about the straight cuts. As I mentioned, I'm going to be using this as a roller while these are gently warming up. That's all. So let's start application of the rear one. Let's put your face into the rear panel so I can actually demonstrate what we're going to be doing. So, from one of the panels, I did pre-wipe these surfaces, not the greatest. On the first van, I've actually used microfiber cloth and some brake cleaner for the ideal conditions. Pre-wipe these, there's no dust on it or anything like that. I'm not going to go mental around it because I believe if it's rolled correctly, it should stick on. Plus, we're going to be jamming insulation against it and everything else, so I don't see these coming off. But again, don't take my word for it. Ideally, that's what you would want to do. Same as for any surface you would paint or anything like that. So apply gently on the top, start rolling from the top down. Just applying a bit of pressure on the corners mostly, because if you ever get this to even try to come off, it will be from the corners. It'll never come off from the front. Straight away, can't even catch a corner easily. Obviously I'm not trying to rip it off because with glue, theoretically you don't want to glue something down, rip it down and then glue it again. So once it's been in place, you want it to set, which the van's not going to be driving till tomorrow morning, so break, refilled the water bowl because it got cold. Well, lukewarm, wasn't doing much. So got that refilled, nice and hot again, and we shall continue with some sound editing. So, gonna wrap for today. I've done majority of it up. As you can see, there's a couple of random panels missing, but the water bottle gone cold again. It's 6:30 at the moment, so we've covered a fair bit. This is the driver's side. Ceiling wise, you've seen me covering it in checkers. The passenger side door that's done. Need to get these two panels off, but I need to address an issue in there I showed you in the previous video. Still have not done it, so we're not going to be taking anything off as of yet. Rear doors, same story, will be addressed in a little bit. Let's just lay down this Celotex so I can show you the outside. There we go. So all the bottom is done. That's going to be a window, so skipped. That's done. Very top's done. Same on this side. As you can see, I skipped that place. That's where another window's going. Another one in the side door. And then I'm thinking only one on the rear doors because don't want to reveal the design yet, but you will see. Once I start sort of building, I will gladly share the design and show everyone around. But yeah, for now, that's pretty much it for today. As you can see, a little bit tired. Been a good day at work. Yeah, been a good day at work. Done some fair bit outside of work, as you can see. Work in progress. Just been sent a lovely picture. Let me show you this. And that's pretty much another reason why I'm stopping work here. Don't know if it'll focus, but how can you not pack up when that's the dinner upstairs awaiting? So packing up, going up, and gonna enjoy my dinner. To be honest, I don't think I'm gonna be filming any more of the sound editing, so that's gonna be a wrap for the sound editing. In the end of the video, of this video basically, I'll include the prices of what the sound editing cost. Actually, I don't need to do any math. Paid 100 quid for the sound editing. So far 2.5 hours of work, and I reckon I will need another hour and a half. That should be done. So wrapping up at about 4 hours of work. Obviously limited tools. I show you get a fix for the tools, so any one of you can use it. And yeah, that's pretty much a wrap for sound editing. The plan in the future is to take the front cab ceiling, sound deaden it, insulate it, and build a storage there. So I will show you in the future maybe how I'm doing that part anyway. Same goes for the passenger doors. This sound deadening and insulation, because from the factory there's, as I mentioned before, there's a tiny strip, probably the size of that, for the whole door. In a moment I'll show you I'll actually record the sound of how these panels sound from the outside. So we're going to compare this panel here to this panel there. So yeah, let me pack up my tools, show you that, and I'm going for that dinner. The lighting conditions ain't great, but this is the sound of a panel that's got sound editing. Lovely results, guys. So yeah, that's just done. The lighting conditions outside wasn't great. Wrap up the video, you heard the difference. It's definitely worth it. Don't have to go bonkers, but if you don't really care about weight, you can, because the more you cover, the little bit better results you get. But insulation is key as well. See you later, guys.